Hello, hello. Welcome to the first show in a new segment here called In the Shallows with. And today's first episode is going to be with Greta Volkova. And we'll be talking Murdercise. Welcome back. How have you been?
Good. I've been good. How are you?
Good, good. Watching movies, working the usual. I decided this idea because, like we were discussing earlier, some people do deep dives into movies and everything. But I figured, let's just, talk about it a little bit, get into it, because maybe some of us don't like to go down to every little detail. I mean, those are always fun, but I'm like, should just do something short, simple, you discuss a fun movie. And so here we are. So Murder Size, of course, is on Tubi now. Which it was written and directed by Paul Ragsdale and hopefully I say her name right here, Angelica de Alba. And it stars. I can talk today. I'm so out of it today. Kansas Bowling is Phoebe. We got Nina Lene Kent, who plays her friend, who is Isabella. Jessa Flux, who plays Candy. Ginger Lynn, who plays like a mob wife's whose daughter in it she wants to take care of or keep out of trouble, so she tries to get her into this exercise video.
Yeah, I love the name, the Stromboli. The Strombolis are financing the aerobic video.
Yes, and of course Phoebe, she wants to she's into fitness and health, and she wants to be this role model, of course. And she gets thrown in with a group of, let's see, we got a stripper, a horror movie actress, who's kind of slutty and just wants to get out there, and attention whore, pretty much. We got a stripper, so all these different people, and she feels so out of place in this group here.
Mm-hmm.
So, who was one of your favorites of the group there?
I have to shout out to Chuck. I just thought he was so adorable. The crew guy who was like so passionate about wanting to be a filmmaker, and he was like trying to be so helpful. Like his energies and enthusiasm was just so delightful, especially when like they're in a situation like, oh God, like the cops are coming. What are we gonna do? And he's like, I can set a fire, like an electrical fire. I've done that before. Or like he was like a kid on Christmas, like got a hockey mask, gotta be a killer. Like no, Chuck, bad ideas. But like I loved his enthusiasm.
Like, yeah, everything. He just wanted to help out, and he, like you said, he wants to do his career too. He wanted, he's like tired of being a PA. He's like a filmmaker, and he's like trying to get all professional. One of my favorite lines was like when after they're watching the horror movie, and Phoebe's all like, this is a bad idea. She's trying to be in the moment, exercising, and they're all just slacking and watching Candy's horror movie, who, of course, Jessa Flux. It's kind of funny how she's an actress in it, and she's doing in the movie like a bad acting job. I like how people like play parodies of reality.
Oh, I love that little movie within a movie. That was great.
Yeah, the movie within a movie.
Everyone wanted to watch that, but Phoebe's like, no, we're not watching that. They throw things at her, and I low key hear, I hate you.
It's kind of like the unpopular chick at the slumber party or whatever, like that. Everybody just like, why did she get invited here? And when Chuck, played by Derek, I'm sorry, I forget his last name. Do you happen to have his last name? I forget offhand. Who was that? Derek. I'm sorry. No, not Derek. Drew Maverick was Chuck. I don't know why I was thinking Derek, but he pulls her out just like because she's like kind of flirting with him, and takes her off into the corner or off into the other room, and she's like trying to seduce him, and he's all into business and wants to be part of the union.
Yeah, at the union. I want to be a filmmaker.
She's like, don't you like my plumpness? It's like, the only thing that's plump is going to be that big fat union check. Yeah. Which I guess he didn't know that they're on strike right now, so it wouldn't really matter.
Well, like I think the movie was supposed to take place in the 80s. I was thinking, back then they didn't really take, the accusations seriously. I'm sure Chuck would have been fine. But yeah, Candy did not handle rejection at all. That scene was hilariously over the top.
Yeah, she pulled that off very well. She's like, "Oh, nobody wants to see me." She's like, "Aren't you a man?" That's like I think one of the highlights of the movie there, in my opinion.
I paid for these, so someone's got to look at them.
Comedic wise, yeah, that's pretty much when she makes Phoebe just snap. She can't take it anymore, and that's when she just snaps and puts scissoring to a literal term, stabs her. So that was brutal. But I like how they in this one, of course, more practical effects. That I mean, that's what I enjoy in movies.
Yeah, the last death scene, like the special effects on that one was pretty amazing. Like with the chainsaw and the that was pretty gruesome.
Oh, that was funny. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Besides that, any other deaths that you liked in it?
Well, it's kind of ironic with the wrestler character. She gets killed by a chair.
Yeah, Monique.
Yeah.
When she brought that up there, I love the throwback for this for the '80s. It kind of reminded me of what was that movies, Spa or whatever. All those older '80s aerobics. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I know there was one with Jamie Lee Curtis. That wasn't a horror one. I never saw it, but I knew of it. But the actual video that they were doing, it reminded me of that erotic aerobic video that sleazy mortician guy was watching, and the one Friday the 13th. I think it was like part 4. Do you remember that one? It was like a European, like it was an aerobic video.
Oh, okay, yeah. Was it 4 or 5? I don't remember which one it was there.
I think it was 4, because part 5, it's not Jason doing the killing. Because it takes place in the morgue and he comes back to life. So I think it's part 4.
Okay, it would have to be 4 because 5 was the one where it wasn't Jason. Yeah. I remember that.
The one thing I would have liked to have seen in this is like during the credits, I would have liked to have seen like the final product, because it would have been funny because like in the very beginning, you just have this tiny room that's like absolutely full of women, like they are shoulder to shoulder, and then like slowly they're like bumped off. It would have been funny to see like the final product where they start off with like a room full of women and then you cut away and there's less and less, and then like maybe the one segment where Phoebe's like all jacked up on coke and she's like, oh, the other girls couldn't hack it or something, just like have like a have all of it streamed together to see what the final project, the final video would be.
That would be funny because it did have her at the end of it. She's like, crack is whack, practice safe sex, don't do it, and don't be a communist, or whatever the line was at the end of the movie. But we don't get, you're right though, we don't get to see what the progress of them doing the video. That would have been funny.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that because it would have been funny to see the numbers. But by the end, it's just like the two of them. It's just Phoebe and Isabella. And I liked the two bonding that they do. Like Isabella, she kind of gave me like a Daria vibes if Daria had taken place in the 80s instead of like the 90s grunge. Just kind of had that like a punk rock, like a 80s rock kind of Daria vibe going on. At least I thought.
Yeah, like the not really care much, just whatever.
But yeah, I liked their bonding. You know how Phoebe, all she wanted was a supportive family, and she gets it by the end. I'm like, ah, and she blends right in with this mafioso family. They don't snitch, and like that's really sweet.
Even though they're little psychotic killers, it's a good family film. That's all. Just like the Fireflies and Devil's Rejects, just a family of murderers. That's all. And seeing Ginger Lynn to play the boss in it, or the husband, she was funny how she was like coming on to him and stuff, saying, "Oh, my husband has his side piece, so I'll do whatever I want." The was it the director or the cameraman?
I think it was the director. There was Mikey. I felt bad for him because the advice is like, you have to do what she says, but don't touch her. And he was like, what am I supposed to do?
She's touching me.
He just seemed like overwhelmed and just distracted throughout the whole movie. He's like, I have no idea what he was doing, just being fresh out of film school.
Well, that's what he was. I think they had said Gino would tell her that he was just out of school, and that's how he started there. So yeah. And then we also have the Stranglers, like it's interesting because we got the other killers that come in later on. We see them that they're posing as cops, and you hear about Strangler, but the police and the news don't know it's two people, so they get pulled in later on when after Phoebe kills the cameraman because they're all hitting on her. That's all basically Gino and the cameraman, not Mikey, but like when they're putting it together, they're just trying to sell a sex video. Pretty much is what they're trying to do, make money off the sex appeal of all the women in it. That's all they really care about. So she ends up taking that. Was it a piece of a vacuum? It looked like that was in there that she had stabbed in his eye.
I don't remember.
That's what it looked like. It almost looked like a little vacuum piece that went in his eye. Hey, Cal, how's it going? So we got Cal here. Welcome. Oh. So, but I think it was a vacuum piece. But after that, whatever, not Monique. What was the stripper's name?
Nikki?
Yeah.
There's Nikki, there's Cassandra. She was the one that had like the braces.
Oh,
Monique was the wrestler. Cassandra
was
had
the wrestler that
had
the chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it was Cassandra that ran out that saw Phoebe kill her, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, she ran out. She flagged the police down.
But it wasn't the police, it was the two killers.
Right. It was the Stranglers.
The Stranglers. Yeah. So what did you think of their portrayals as the Stranglers?
I mean, creepy. I mean, I know like some people are probably going to find it offensive with, the objectification and exploitation of women. But I mean, like, it's an homage to the movies back then. And the killers, I feel like, really felt like those type of killers from that era because they were creepy and disturbing. They're making, Nikki dance, and they're making really creepy things with the mother and daughter. But I feel like it's definitely an homage to those type of villains from the 80s.
It was when they were making Nikki dance or in the chair, and then they pour the water. It kind of reminded me almost like a little flash dance when the water comes down. So that was like, to me, that was like a little homage to that. Let's see. We got Patrick here. Hello. Did you get a chance to watch Murdercise yet? I know he had started to watch it, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was fun how they had the 80s like flash dance to that. And then you think he's gonna like make her strip, and he ends up having the foot fetish. Like, yeah,
like maybe a little nod to like Tarantino a little bit.
Yeah, Tarantino. Yeah. Okay, he still hasn't watched it yet. Gotta watch it. It's hilarious.
It's great.
As long as you're not offended by gore and nudity, you're good. But you wouldn't be here otherwise. I mean, we love our horror here, so. And it works for it too. I mean, like sometimes, people might think nudity isn't necessary, but the way the certain scenes, like with him, even like when he's holding his eyes saying he wants to be a filmmaker and stuff, like, I mean, it fit with it, I think, I mean, what are your views on, when nudity is necessary, do you think?
I mean, I feel like so long as the actors are comfortable with it and not being pressured, if they're comfortable with their bodies, like I have no objection. Right. Like in the opening, the opening scene, you have a woman. She's in all their outfits were adorable. I love like the neon, and you have this the opening scene. The woman's exercising this adorable neon outfit, and she's got the Walkman and afterwards she goes home, obligatory, shower scene. Like that was totally the thing, for the 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm. And then when it started out with her, and then that's when we're introduced to the Stranglers at first. She's called the cops, and then she's like, they're here. So I was like, yeah.
We didn't send them yet. Like, oh.
And send them.
Yeah, then the opening scene. I love the opening with with all the women in the room, and they do the name titles, with each character. It's like that was a nice little throwback. I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm. And then how let's see. Oh, and she just said, and hello to you.
Oh, hello.
But yeah, we also were talking about after, she's complaining to Gino about all these people, being strippers, and like she can't take how that she's being treated, and he makes her the boss, which that's when she almost starts to snap once she thinks she can get that power, just before, of course, the scene where Candy is flashing her tits in front of her face and everything, and she snaps. But I like after that how when she does drugs, you had mentioned that she did the coke and she's all hot.
I love how Isabella is like, we need you to get chill. Let's give you cocaine. It's like she's already like high strung and uptight, and it's like your go-to drug is cocaine. But I loved coke fueled Phoebe. Like I loved the workout, like how hyper she was. Like the camera guy was like confused at first, and he's like, all right, I'm just gonna go with it. When she was coked out, she pulls Monique aside and like, there's too many girls. We need some we need symmetry, and you gotta go. Like she's just completely hyper. It's like,
Like,
what on earth were you thinking to give her cocaine? But it was fabulous. I loved Phoebe on cocaine.
let's see. He's saying, is Kansas Bowling a new actress? I think she did a few other things. I don't think she's that new. I'm not sure, because I think I've seen her in some other. Let's see. She was in a movie called Cuddle Toys, Christmas Bloody Christmas. That was something that was on Shudder. Death Rider in the House of Vampires. She did a music video, Harley Poe, Corpse Grinding Man. She was in Tales from the Grave, which was a Wild Eye movie, or Grave of the Living Dead. It was also titled. So now she's done a bunch of other stuff. Psycho 8, The Killers, Reality Queen. But yeah, you can. So no, I don't think she's that new.
You know, it's funny, as when I watched it the first time, Jessa looked familiar to me, and I was like looking through her IMDb, but I'd never like seen any of her other movies. Then I realized I'd seen pictures of her recently, because she recently worked with Mel Heflin, and I worked
Yep.
with Mel on Camp Blood 7. So it's like, oh, it's like a weird, like, 2 degrees of separation type thing. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. They both worked on this witch movie. I think it was like Bloody Witch, but I just remember the pictures, because I remember the pictures were like really
That they had
awesome.
posted. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I'm actually finally, Jessa and Mel are actually going to be in Cheerleader Elimination in January when I go film that. So I actually get to work with them too. So it's like, yay, finally. Like I haven't met Mel. I mean, she was on the show, of course. I messaged Jessa, maybe eventually have her on the show and stuff, but it's cool that I'll still get to work with them. And then you've worked with, oh yeah, it's like a full circle here. It's just, it's a small world. But anyway, yeah, the coked up, it's like drug of choice. Like, why would you give cocaine to calm her down? And she doesn't just like, she starts to take out a little bit for her, and then she just like takes the bag and like almost sniffs the whole bag.
Yeah, she's got it all over her face. Of course, I mean, she doesn't, I'm sure she had never done coke before, but yeah, she's got all of it like half of her face.
On her face, like a cocaine stash going on.
But yeah, Phoebe was definitely like the yuppie of the group. She loves Ronald Reagan. She dropped, name drop Reagan quite a few times throughout the thing, and hates the communists and strippers and everything. But yeah, the power totally went to her head when she was left in charge and was like micromanaging and being bossy to everyone. So everyone did not like her, but Isabella was there to help her out. That's why I liked the bonding between the two.
The whole mafia, and the sticking up for each other and not snitching. And like it at first, like even as an audience, we thought she didn't know about it, and then she even said like, oh yeah, we don't snitch, I know you killed such and such. It's like, it's only business, that's all. Like with the real stranglers later on stuff, when she like saves them after they're being held hostage coming in, and they're doing all that creepy stuff and then going to kill them because they're just psycho killers without any thought or plan, unlike not like Phoebe had a plan, but you know what I mean, like they're just whatever. There was a point that I was going to say, at the end when she was saying it was only business and he was trying to let her go or let him leave. So that was fun. That was probably like you were saying, the best death scene there, practical effect with the chainsaw. That
Yeah.
was awesome. And then she stepped on his face. I love that. Oh,
But yeah, Chuck got to have the chainsaw for a little bit, but then it was Chainsaw Phoebe who saves the day.
exactly. And he's like, "Yo, I'm just messing around." Like he acted like he was gonna kill him, and then he ends up dropping it.
Well, I think it didn't it stall or something. I don't
Well,
know.
it stalled on him. He was like doing the chainsaw like already. Another fun part when he wanted to be in the video when they at first Gino was going to let Phoebe be in the video after Candy got killed. No one else knew but him, and he was going to let her. And then all the other girls are complaining, saying how they deserve it too, that they're a whole lot prettier, and that even Isabella had the goth chick or metal chick. What'd they say? Metal chick
Mafia princess, whatever
or mafia?
nicknames they have
Mafia.
for her.
Yeah, even the mafia princess has a better chance of doing that. So Chuck comes in and he just has his normal short shorts on and how he's dressed up. And then he comes in, like he opens the door and he's got the aerobics outfit on. Like as soon
Yeah,
as he opens the door, it's just all like he's like, no.
yeah.
You wouldn't
Love
do
Chuck's energy. Very enthusiastic. Even trying out for the cover girl. Love it.
that was some great comic relief in there. Let's see. I was just saying, I thought I saw another message. No, my bad. But yeah, I mean, that was hilarious. That must have been a really fun part to play. So I'd like to do something like that, just craziness, full of energy. So, well, yeah, I mean, I have sort of, but like that part, too, would be fun. Which character, if you had a chance to play one of them, which one would you want to have been in that? I definitely want to pull off Chuck. That was fun. I'd do that in a second.
I would probably Isabella because I could do that like low key, like whatever. Like I'm not gonna snitch on you.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yep, I can see that. That'd be fun. I wonder, like, I don't know, but a sequel to it might be fun. But I don't know really how they would pull that off. But maybe see a video or something, or maybe like a short or something if they did something else within another movie, like crossed it over or something.
Yeah, maybe expand on it somehow. Be interesting.
Oh no! What they could do is Chuck becomes a filmmaker, and maybe there's a killer on his set.
He finally joins the union, therefore he gets his own studio and everything, and maybe the Stromboli's are still financing him, and he's still bringing some of the other characters that survived.
There we go. That's a good one. Should talk to Paul about that and be like, "Hey, let's have Chuck get his filmmaker." But he can't have Candy in it, unfortunately, so he won't get to see her after all.
Well, I mean, she could come back as a completely different character. I mean, some things just like throw a wig on her and she'll be someone else. Like do like a Twin Peaks type thing.
There we go. Or she's just an random actress with like shorter hair or different color hair that ends up auditioning or something. So
Yeah.
that's fun. That would be a fun little thing to see him expand on. Have like a movie with him and them still paying for the studio. Definitely would like to see that.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get a bigger studio next time. So having that tiny cramped room. So I remember watching it, like all those women were like shoulder to shoulder doing those aerobic exercises. And I think there was 2 additional women that I think they were like maybe extras who had left later because I counted 7 women originally in that tiny room. I'm like, wow. I don't know if they were just intentionally just having them like cramped in this tiny little room.
It almost looked like a little closet or something, like a walk-in closet that they were doing it in, like, and watching him through the glass there, or what was it like an interrogation room or something? You got the window watching them, except they're all doing aerobics shoved in together.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to go watch it though. I believe you're right. There were like just some extras just doing that because they introduced like the 3 of them or 4 of them or whatever, but there were more of them in the video, so.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely have to check that out again. Have to do that, watch it again, and try to get more detail. Not going to deep dive it, but it worked out though. What else you have to say about her? Anything that caught your eye?
I'm trying to like look through my notes. I think we hit on most of the memorable scenes. I'd probably say like the coked out workout was probably one of my favorite scenes. What about you?
The coke out workout. Um, well, I mean, they all played their parts well, I think. I mean, of course, Jez played a hilarious attention whore, and Paul, I think Paul wrote a really good script, and I have talked to him about coming on, going to set up a date, so I can't wait to see what his inspiration was, to have this mafia uh, paying to make some videos, what was in his mind, how he got this idea. So it worked out pretty well, I think, so.
I remember the first time I watched it when Mrs. Stromboli was talking to Gina. It's like, I want my daughter to be in this. She's been wayward, been on the streets and whatnot. And I remember thinking, if I was the producer, I'd be like, are you sure? Like, are you like absolutely positively sure you want your daughter in this? Like, what we're doing, right? Knowing that, the Strombolis make people disappear. I would have wanted to make sure they were completely, on the same page.
Putting her in a video that people are going to see. Be like,
yeah.
Oh.
You sure you want her in this one? But...
yeah, that's true. But then again, whatever the mob boss says, you wouldn't want to cross him, I guess. But yeah, who knows? But yeah, what else there? Hilarious ending, I thought too. Yeah,
I like this little send off with the flag, with her.
Oh,
that's why I thought it was going to lead into like the final project, but you had Phoebe in front of the flag, and I'm like, oh, okay, so she's still going to be doing films.
Yeah. I always thought that also when it ended too, when she was doing the introduction, like you said, there might have been some of the video that they had put together, because it was like just the introduction. I don't know if it was the ending, like supposed to be an ending of their video that she was saying, like, before they started the exercise, if it was after or before it. So it's like, no, I don't know. They should have had a little bit more added into that. But it was fun though. I mean, I overall enjoyed it and definitely recommend for people to check it out on Tubi. I know we've talked a lot about it if you haven't seen it, but either way, if you're watching this later, let us know, or, you can comment what you thought about it and after the replay. But yeah.
So what was your favorite scene?
Well, I got to go with the scenes with Chuck was fun. Oh, we did. I remember when he's like trying to talk to Nikki about, being a roadie, and she's like,
"Oh yeah, shut up."
He's like, I don't know if strippers have unions. She's like, fuck, just leave me alone. That was funny. He was talking about the gloves with no fingers. Like, yeah, you can do anything.
Oh yeah, I got a pair. I can give you a pair.
He's like, oh, I do all the stuff on set here filming. She's like, oh my god. And when it was funny also, again, when Phoebe was like trying to be the boss of them and she was eating the burger, she's like, you can't eat that. That's bad for you. You can't do that. And she's like, I'm a stripper. It'll work off. And talk about the pole dance. She's like, oh, wrestle. She's like, wrestle? Yeah, Jello, whatever, mud. Like, you're all such bad influence. And then she just like burps at her and gets out of the room.
Classy.
Yeah, that's who I want to be in videos with. Yeah, that'd be a fun group to work with, don't you think? No one who respects each other. It's like gotta go do some blow. But yeah, it was fun. So, but hey, we're almost coming up to a half hour, which is exactly what I thought. 29 minutes and 18 seconds. So yeah, we talked a perfect amount of time, I believe. So, anything you want to tell us that you got going on before we go or check out, or?
No, not really. I don't have any films coming up. I was supposed to play a Russian national in this film noir, but unfortunately that kind of fell through. So.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by for the first episode of In the Shallows, and Cheetah stopping by, and Kalel, and hope everyone else who checks out the replay. Probably going to do this every week. And I'm also going to have some fellow YouTubers too, come on, just have a bunch of random people, past guests, fellow YouTubers, just to talk movies. So, all right. thanks for joining us. I'll talk to you later and see you next week.
Right,
Bye.
thanks for having me. Bye.
Thanks for coming.